Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM alongside my tag team partner in podcasting. Please welcome to the show the Taskmaster, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob. You and I are going to be presiding over this podcast, or as Kurt Angle would say, presiding.
He's not good at like the whole talking thing anymore.
Oh my God. What a way to start Raw. At one point I just looked and I was like, really? Is this a rib? Like, you're starting it with Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon, and Roman Reigns. Can you make me care less out of the gate?
But then came Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and then it picked right up. I mean, to their credit, it picked up. But at first I was just like, oh my God, it's like, who's worse on the mic?
So
let's play a game.
I've got to be honest with you. I don't know that I agree with, I mean, the segment got better with the involvement of Owens. Well, look at us just starting right off with Raw. We're jumping right into it.
We're just 2 feet in, 2 feet, pow, sploosh, splash. I'm sure we'll derail at some point.
Yeah, because we have lots to talk about here in Evansville. But yeah, let's just start with Raw. Let's just get started.
Jumping in.
Because, yeah, I did not like the show last night. Now, let me kind of elaborate. I thought that it was a whole lot of nothing. I thought that whenever anything was happening, it wasn't anything of importance. And that was only when stuff was happening.
Well, and, I agree. I didn't like the show either. I think that the theme for Money in the Bank is drag it on to Money in the Bank.
Like, I was real excited when I found out, I mentioned this last time, we were going to have 6 weeks to build Money in the Bank. And for me, like in my head, I'm thinking of the potential of really fleshing stuff out for 6 weeks and getting in storylines that, are 6 weeks in production, or, these guys who haven't, they've been feuding for 6 weeks, they're finally gonna get their hands on each other or whatever it is. Everything is, I feel like, just sucking.
Instead, next week we get like a 37-woman gauntlet match, which is going to be brutal. And then you get these matches that are fun to watch. And it's like I'm watching a video game because it's kind of cool, but it doesn't mean anything. Like Finn Balor and Braun Strowman is a really fun match that they put together, but it meant nothing to me.
And same with that opening segment. That opening segment, when you factor in everything, it was almost the first hour. When you factor in the promo that got it started, when you factor in that it started as one match and ended up as a second match, it was about 50 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Minutes.
Yeah.
It was 52.
And it didn't really mean anything. Right?
No, if anything, it was just to get Seth Rollins over even more. They made the right decision, I thought, as they started the tag match. If anyone other than Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns gets pinned, or anyone other than Jinder Mahal or Seth Rollins does the pinning, they've made a mistake. Because you have Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns essentially have 2 matches out there. So if one of them, if Roman Reigns pinned Jinder Mahal, who only was out there for half of the match, it would really look bad. And so they did the right thing by having Seth Rollins go over Kevin Owens, but it was just still like, I don't know. I like the wrestling on a lot of stuff, but yeah, Raw didn't do much for me. And the talking at the beginning was not great. Only by comparison to the Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayne segment is the beginning of Raw acceptable.
Well, hold on. I actually kind of thought that segment was probably a highlight of the show. In fact, I'm realizing now I need to change the name of the episode today.
To what? Not to that. That was a bag of garbage. Come on, Rob, please.
Okay? Well, let's talk about this. Okay, when you think about what I like out of wrestling and Attitude Era stuff, and I know it was stupid, but like, I don't know. I kind of thought that was a unique way to get heat on Sami Zayne. And
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that they all came out as dudes, and I thought it went a little too long. I thought Sami Zayne did.
Wait, those weren't his sisters?
I thought that's not Jessica with the mustache. I thought that Sami Zayne did as well as he could with those idiots that were not good at all. on the mic. And then Bobby Lashley came out, and it's Apollo Crews problem, man. He's too happy. He's smiling. God, he's got such a crazy look, and his theme music is awesome, and he hits the ring, and I couldn't care less about Bobby Lashley.
I guess my summation of it was going really well until Lashley showed up. So what did you, okay, forget Lashley for a second. Did you just like
though? That's what made it bad. Lashley made it bad.
Okay. I thought you didn't like everything. So was the concept okay to you? Like, I thought the concept was okay. Like, for a week, Sami was promoting he's going to have Lashley's sisters on. And then
the concept's okay because you had no choice. Like, I didn't like the concept of the Bobby Lashley interview to begin with. Like, I didn't like the story he told about his sisters. I didn't like that whole thing anyways. But now that we're here, it's the buffet. You know me. I don't mind the goofy stuff. I don't mind the This Is Your Life segments. But I want them to be more Rock, This Is Your Life, and less Bailey, This Is Your Life.
You know, I'm trying to think. Remember, boy, it was at least a year ago. There was a segment that was referred to as the worst promo ever.
It was Alexa Bliss.
Correct. What was that segment? I don't remember.
Bailey, This Is Your Life.
When you said that, that's what made it register. Okay. I forget what made that so bad. What made that so bad?
Oh God, I think it dragged on and it was just terrible. It was.
Yeah, I remember it was the drizzling craps.
And for weeks, they hammered it on television about Alexa Bliss being responsible for the worst thing ever, and you kept coming into her defense, saying she's getting blamed for this, but it's unnecessary heat.
Yeah, no, you're right. I can't remember the specifics, but I remember it happening. I remember admitting it was awful and it could have been the worst, but yeah, defending Alexa in that she didn't have anything to work with, but I can't remember the specifics of it.
And I don't know if it was the sister's fault or Bobby Lashley's just a sloppy worker. But like his kicks to the stomach, like he couldn't get his moves off.
Well, I have one, and Steve just sent me a note too that I have to get to. But the note that I made about the workers was when he gave one of his sisters a choke slam, and it looked so fake. Like the guy was jumping before Lashley was. I'm sorry, the sister. It was one of his sisters. I'm surprised that being a Lashley, she couldn't work better.
Francis.
But she jumped way before she was supposed to. So we might need to go back and watch some of this stuff because Steve just sent me another note that I need to go back and watch.
What's that?
Steve just sent me a note that says, please tell me one of you noticed the first sister had an extra finger on each hand. And I can say I did not notice that. But this is why I did not notice it. I make sure I don't delete Raw until we talk about it for reasons like this.
Why don't they they should point that out.
If there's an independent wrestler with 6 fingers on each hand, that should be his gimmick.
Yeah, Tommy 12 Fingers. that should be his name.
I don't know why that was so funny to me. It was
Could you imagine him in a feud with Ty Dillinger? 12. Could you imagine? Sign him now.
Jerry, that was so well done.
12.
Nothing I will ever say on this show will be from like a comic writing standpoint. That was so well written and so fast. I'm just envious that you got that out before me.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh my God, I can't even deal with this right now.
And like, I immediately want to know how many toes does he have? Like,
there's so much to know.
How many toes? I want to start counting everything. Everything.
Oh, that is
so funny. Do you have 2 of these? Do you have 10 of these? Do you have 1 of those?
And he could be like real good at math because ever since like a kid, he had those 2 extra fingers. So where all the other kids had to stop at 10, he could go till 12 and 24 and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's like 12 times 12 is 144. I've got it nailed. I know my multiples by 12.
Oh my God. Steve says it's the one with the broom, to make it clear. Oh my God,
Okay.
Jared, I'm crying. That was so funny. Nice work.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I
have to rename I have to rename this episode now, by the way.
Well, by the way, if Steve is right, and I don't have any, well, I do have reasons why he could be wrong. This could be another Charlotte situation. But no,
Steve
if he's
has
right,
been wrong in the past to great effect.
But if he's right here, then I'm giving this one of my favorite segments. Like,
I really, to be honest with you, again, from like an Attitude Era kind of, like you said, This Is Your Life, or like a DX parodies The Nation kind of way, the segment didn't bother me. I admit Lashley made it worse, but he had to come out and get the heat off of, or get the heat on Zayn or whatever. But yeah, it makes you want to see them fight more. I don't know. I am not anti the segment, to be honest.
I just couldn't. I couldn't decide which segment of talking I disliked the most. Was it the very beginning before Kevin Owens came out? Was it, because Kurt Angle, God bless him, it's not working. He can't get the words out. Him and Steph and Roman, I thought was a train wreck. And then you have the Lashley Zane thing, which was okay. I still thought it was a bit of a bag of garbage, but now Tommy 12 Fingers is out there. I got to give it a B.
Which is a higher grade than he gave the Greatest Rumble.
Or is it Ronda and Nia Jax?
So that's what I have the show title as now, but I do think I'm going to I mean, what do you think more people will be looking for conversations of on YouTube? The Ronda Rousey contract signing or Sami Zayn interviewing Bobby Lashley's sisters? I think that the sisters is more buzzworthy, personally.
Probably, but I also think that Ronda Rousey is just a name that gets Googled a ton.
Maybe you're right. I'll think about it. Here, you know what? I'm going to leave this one in your court, Jer.
Oh, I know what to name it then. Ronda Rousey nudes leaked.
I can't call it that.
I'm just saying. You want to get hits or you want to get hits, huh?
That one will make me feel dirty.
Okay.
Just because, well, you know. Let's talk about that segment, because I don't like this segment from the jump. I told you I'm all about here's a good example of WWE doing something like this that works. Remember in 1990, what was it, 3, when Lex Luger body slammed Yokozuna on the USS Intrepid? You don't remember, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. That kicked off the whole Lex Express thing. That was Lex's big give. That was the thing. That was everything, was when he body slammed Lex Luger. That was not on television. They showed tape of it on Raw and, use it to launch an angle. I'm cool with them doing stuff outside of television once in a while that affects television. I'm okay with that. It wasn't the fact that it happened at the upfronts that bothers me. It was just the execution of it was Nia's excitement, the smiles of when she like we're best friends, but I'm challenging you. I just hated it. It's not what I wanted out of this.
At least they explained why the champion challenged the challenger for once. They had some kind of a backwards logic as to that.
So Mike brought the point up last week, and he was absolutely right. One thing that was bothering me about it was that the champion was challenging the challenger, which is totally backwards. And then not only that, the challenger, Ronda, like, who would say I don't deserve it? Like, you just take it. The whole thing just didn't click with me. I didn't like it.
It didn't click, and then they stood up, and then they're shaking hands, and it's a face-off.
And then they walk off like it's an episode of Total Divas.
Yeah.
And even that's like, I'm having another problem here. And I'm taking us way into the woods here. I am kind of starting to think the Cena-Nikki breakup is a work.
Boy, it sure feels like a work.
I mean, it's so overexposed, and they're so actively commenting on it that I'm just like, I'm so overseeing it that I'm like, they want us to see this.
And you know, it was timed perfectly with the Total Bellas debut, and everyone's going to watch the episode that they keep showing where they're sitting on the couch crying and they're talking about a breakup. It sure feels like a work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Steve just sent me an image of the six fingers. It's hard to see. I'm going to go back and watch the segment. I'll say that, Steve.
Is there six fingers on each hand?
I don't know. Well, let's just, the image makes it tough to tell. But I'm enjoying this conversation. So yeah, and it's all coinciding with the Total Bellas launch, which, by the way, this is a big part of it. And I'm just starting to feel like we're being worked, and I hate it now. It sounds like you're on my. What, are you looking it up now?
Oh my God, he's not wrong.
I want to get back to this conversation.
Oh, wait a second. Make it full screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I keep
1,
seeing
2.
5 and a thumb.
Yeah, the top hand. Here. See it? You son of a gun!
Not exactly.
There it is.
Okay, you gotta stop here. Thanks.
There it is. Found it.
All right. Looks like Steve is right.
Am I not allowed to show images?
Yeah. I mean, let's just not.
Am I not allowed to show images? What if I sing songs?
No, we can't do that either.
Well, I'm just saying, 6 fingers.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm not sure what we showed qualified as an image because it was so blurry and you're moving the phone the whole time.
Right.
but I feel like let's just not do that again, please.
Never do that again. We'll never do that again.
Back to
the conversation.
Yeah, I was enjoying this conversation about. Now I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
But I want to talk about it.
Well, I feel like it's such a work, but I feel like now we're back to Tommy Two-Tone.
Well, no, because that's going to be the underlying theme of this whole thing now is Tommy 12 Fingers. But I'm trying to think of other situations where, you know, Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, you've heard Bruce Pritchard, he's talked about that, where Randy wanted to get back together with Elizabeth on TV before he took a break because they were living in separate apartments because of kayfabe. You know, like he took that very seriously.
My whole thing is I'm seeing it so much in real news on wrestling. I mean, I don't know where you guys get your news from. There's so many different, I mean, whether you're WrestleZone or your 411 or your Wrestling Observer, like every other thing is something about John Cena said this, John Cena said that, Nikki Bella responds with this. But it was did you see Cena tweeted just the image of John Cusack from Say Anything with the boombox? Yeah. That's just like, that's something I don't think he would do if this was real.
Well, and at this point, and credit to WWE if they're working this, I'm not getting it from wrestling news sites. Like, I don't go to those sites a lot on purpose. There's the story about SmackDown Live that you and I are probably going to touch on today or tomorrow. I got that from ESPN. I get the John Cena stuff from TMZ and EW and all these other places that aren't wrestling news sites. So it's become pop culture. It's becoming everywhere, which is what they want.
But even I saw WWE posted an article about something about like, will John Cena and Nikki Bella get back together? And it's like, if this was,
they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, if this was real, they wouldn't do that. And so now it's just like I'm starting to feel suckered, and it's starting to come off as lame to me. And yeah, I'm really starting to get like, I want to think that Cena's better than this, but I think this is lame. And I might be wrong, but my radar's going off big time here. And
well, I thought the engagement at WrestleMania was a work. I thought that they were probably already engaged.
I don't think that part was a work. And I also think that part of it is based in fact. Like, I think that either something happened, or they wanted to push back the wedding, or they wanted to get unengaged but still stay together. And I feel like there's some element that made this real, but I feel like we're being worked now. Curious from the post to post universe if you agree on that one, which, by the way, I'm hoping this will be the first episode in the post to post group.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah,
but it's you know, these works are all fun and games until John Cena starts banging Carmella, and then he's worked himself into a shoot.
Yeah, and then there's that, and I don't know what to make of that either. And this whole thing is just, I'm just smelling a fish. You know, I'm just smelling a fish on this one. Something stinks.
That's not a nice thing to say about Carmella.
But I'm bummed. Boy, you're on fire. Jerry's awake today. He came out swinging with the Tommy 12 fingers, talking about Carmella's privates, the way they smell. He's moving and shaking today. Valeria is on.
Making moves, showing illegal clips of videos on the site.
He wants to call it Ronda Rousey's naked pictures.
Right. I'm just saying. So sorry you lost me. When I thought I found a video that would prove the 6 fingers, I needed to see it. You know, I'm easily distracted. I'm like a squirrel with shiny objects sometimes.
But also for me, like Steve sent me a picture where it looks like that, but I want to see it on my big TV in HD on my recording. So I want to just go and I'll look at it later today.
That's how we'll do it.
You're right. You know, there is huge news about SmackDown, but we should probably save that for tomorrow.
All right, but I'm kind of like, I want to ask you a question about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
But I'll just wait. Well, I just, you know, the big deal that they made is it's not for more than a year from now, October of 19, but it's going to be on Friday nights. Will they go back to taped or will it be live? Because that'll screw with their house show stuff, I know.
Oh, boy. Well, here's the thing. I didn't see anything.
That'll make it less interesting for me if it's taped on Fridays.
Well, not only that, Jer, just the fact that it's going to be on Fridays is going to make it really tough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. Any day but Friday.
Well, and when are we going to do a recap of it?
I know. That's the other thing. And I don't know the answer to those things. Now, we have a year and a half to figure it out. But, if it goes to taped, I don't even know if I want to watch it.
But it's good news for the WWE. I mean, that's $1 billion deal. I mean, that's huge. And you saw that everywhere today.
And it's just Fox, right? It's not like Fox Sports, right? It's just Fox.
It is Fox. It is the
network,
real.
It's network
general
TV.
Cable Fox. Yeah.
It's a huge deal. Which, see, here's the thing. Like, here's what I want to say about this. So they're getting this huge money deal on network TV. Like my instincts want to be like, or just forget wrestling for a second, just business. You would think like they're going to make the show really good because they're getting this influx of cash from it. They're moving it to a very visible station and a very visible deal valued at over $1 billion. Something awesome's going to happen.
Their stocks went up 19% yesterday.
Yeah, it was huge announcement from them. Why do I know? It's just, they might hot shot stuff at first, but it's just going to resort back to the doldrum that was Friday Night SmackDown.
I sure hope not. I hope that they go ahead and they say, we're putting Brock Lesnar on SmackDown now, or maybe he'll show up on SmackDown, and they really put an emphasis on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that again, kind of like with the brand extension, I think it's going to work at first. They're going to make it really exciting at first. And keep in mind, like when SmackDown went to UPN, or I should say when it was born on UPN in, I want to say it was 1999. It was 1999. It was really exciting for a while. It was every bit as entertaining as Raw was for a couple of years. But then
we still talk about the SmackDown 6,
Yeah, and well, I think even that was kind of over the hump. Like, I think that there was a time like when it first started where it was as important as Raw was. It was not a B show like Thunder was to Nitro.
And they're trying to do that now, but it's not working as well.
Yeah, I hope that when this move happens, it's handled with care, and we'll figure out I'm sure we can figure out a way to talk about it, or even if we do it, I don't even care if we do it. We're talking a year and a half from now. Who knows where our lives will be then?
I'll be dead.
I'm the diabetic. I'll be dead. You'll still be doing your thing. We'll figure it
doing
out.
our thing.
Let's cross that bridge when we get there.
Sure, but I'm I will say now, I'll lock in. I don't think that we'll have a brand split by then.
I hope not. I hate the brand split.
I think they're already trying to work their way away from it with the co-branded pay-per-views. They're in no rush to take Corey Graves off of either announce desk. Like, they're just going to merge them back at some point. It's just going to happen.
Well, there was a lot that we kind of crapped all over Raw about. There's some things that they're doing really well. Boy, the B team is over with me.
I love it. And they won again.
Yeah, and their over celebration. And did you notice I forget which one, I think it was Bo. Bo was still drawing on his shirt with a Sharpie marker.
Make it darker. He's trying to make it visible.
But while he was walking to the ring, he was still drawing on it. I love that. There were already fans in the crowd who had handmade B shirts, and I guarantee it's going to be a thing moving forward. I think it's not going to last long. It's going to be the 2018 version of I Got Kids, but sure. I really do like it while we've got it. What else? I'm also, I got to tell you, I was never a Drew McIntyre guy. I feel like now he's in a really good spot. I feel like this tag team with Dolph is exposing him in the proper way for me. I find him to be just a beast who I think has real potential now, where I never thought this about him before. I also thought that Corbin and No Way Jose had a strangely good night last night. They got some time and actually had a real solid match where I thought that Corbin especially came off really well.
I'll just never be able to, and I know that's not the role they put them in, but I'll never be able to take any characters like No Way Jose or Carlito or The Godfather or anything like that. Those like shticky comedy role. I'll never be able to take them seriously, and they're never going to go anywhere higher than mid-card, if not lower mid.
Yeah, we're trained to not take them seriously, and I don't think that you should. I don't think you're going to see a big push come out of No Way Jose, but I think the jury's still out on Corbin, who I think came off like, boy, there was a shot of him last night that I thought should be like in his sizzle reel. It was, he did this thing. He just had he wasn't kicking, but he had No Way Jose's head press against it's not really the turnbuckle post, but whatever's around the turnbuckle post now. And he's just got his boot and he's just ramming his boot into his face, into the turnbuckle post. And it was shot from down low and he just looked like a monster. And I thought it was a really good image of what Corbin is supposed to be. He's
so big, Corbin. I don't know.
And I liked how he was, when he was outside, he wasn't doing nothing. He was talking trash to the audience. And I don't know. I thought he had a good night. He's not over with me really, but he had a good night, I thought, last night.
Yep.
And what else did I think? Yeah, I thought that the Ziggler match was good. I feel like Gable's got stuff going on too. I don't know. Some stuff worked for me last night, but in general, nothing felt important to me.
Every time I see Gable, I get nervous.
That you're going to see Jordan?
Yeah, I feel like Jason Jordan's just right around the corner.
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic about a return for him. I will be excited to see him until I have reason not to be.
Well, what if the reason is they haven't repackaged him at all and he just comes back as Kurt Angle's son again?
I didn't hate when we left off. He was in a good spot with Seth and the Shield.
Oh, see, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I thought that that could have worked had it fleshed out all the way to WrestleMania.
Never quite got the legs with me to do that.
But we covered a lot of topics today.
We're all over the place.
And we didn't the big news here in Evansville is SmackDown Live coming with a TV taping in July.
That's awesome. We don't get TV here anymore, and we used to so much. And I always loved being part of the TV broadcasts. And you and I in State College we've seen some really cool shows. And the last time TV was in Evansville, Enzo and Cass broke up. So you get some pretty cool shows.
The Evansville Raw held up last year. I thought it was probably one of the 5 best Raws last year.
Yeah.
Maybe even best 3.
Remind me what else happened, because I remember we talked about it, and I thought it was a great Raw.
The Miz Taraj formed, I remember. Like, he recruited
Bo Dallas. They kept coming out in the teddy bears. That's right.
Yep, we had the teddy bears. We had a really good Samoa Joe Roman Reigns match. Braun Strowman returned from like a month-long absence in the ambulance.
Oh, that was the ambulance. Yeah, see, there was a lot that happened in Evansville.
Yeah. And the Enzo and Cass breakup was humongous at the time.
That's the one I remember.
It was a legit good show. So I'm real excited about SmackDown coming back. We can talk more about that tomorrow. We can get more in depth with the SmackDown deal and what it means. And also, I want to remind people, I'm going to try to, right as we're done here, I've got some stuff to do. And then I want to actually make the Facebook group. And I'll probably, I guess what I'll do is I'll put this in the group, this video. And on Facebook, on my personal page, I'll post that everyone who would be looking for Post to Post should look for the Post to Post Facebook group.
And then I'll go ahead and be the first one to shill and say, do us a favor. If you like the show and you like us and you participate in Post to Post, keep doing that with the Facebook, but also share it. Share it. Invite friends to join it. Even if you don't think they like wrestling, just invite them. We'll take pity likes at first. I don't care.
Well,
and just get people involved.
Yeah, I mean, your friends who like wrestling. And especially if they're like, whether they're in State College or Evansville, like if you think that they'd be into, chatting about the stuff going on in wrestling, yeah, I mean, please, by all means, we'd love for this to get bigger. But I also love like everyone who comments on it now. I feel like we're all buddies, even though we don't even see each other. Like I look forward to not just discussing with Jerry. I look forward to discussing with everybody, and I want to keep that going. So
yeah, and this is a good place to do it. I think it'll be good.
So so let's keep it going. And so much going on with wrestling right now, especially here in Evansville with that big announcement that we're getting another. We've in Evansville, Jerry, we've been getting like one TV a year for like 5 years now.
You must have a great venue, 2, a really supportive community, and have good crowds. I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm excited about this. So we'll keep you posted, and I will not be surprised if we have tickets to give away on this show. I can never commit to it fully until I've got them in my hands. But we have NXT coming in a few weeks too. I'm excited about that.
Well, just do me a favor and hold on to 2. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be good?
That would be awesome.
That would work.
Okay. We'll figure things out.
And you're welcome. Rob brought SmackDown Live to Evansville, and it didn't cost $1 billion.
We were in a bidding war like WrestleMania.
Yes.
So we'll talk about SmackDown tomorrow. Hopefully that will be a good show we can talk about today. If not, there's plenty to talk about. Just with SmackDown is all over the legit news and local news because they're coming to town. So plenty to talk about tomorrow. Please look for the Facebook group. I'll have it up as soon as I can. For myself, my tag team partner Jerry, for 12 Finger Tulips, and Steve, who made that unearthed that gem. The question today, can we focus on? I want to know. Is Cena and Nikki, are they working us? Because I think that they are. Do you think it's a work or is it a shoot? Let us know in the comments.
I think it's a work, and I can give you 12 reasons why. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12.